Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 15 of AgogeTV with me, your host Phil Leonard.
And I'm your host, Josh Summersgill.
On today's podcast, we have Mark Banner for words, known as Memz.
Who's Mark?
I know, that's what I mean, Marku. Nobody actually knows him as Mark. Everyone knows him at the gym as Memz. He's one of the main coaches at our gym, takes a lot of sessions, and he is also a model for various people, including Under Armour and Diesel. So I'll let Mark explain a little bit more about himself, or Memz. So Memz, first of all, what brought you to the lovely world that is CrossFit LST? And what keeps you going? What keeps you ticking?
So how did I start CrossFit? How did I start off in CrossFit? Watching, I think I watched it on Netflix. I watched the fitness film on Netflix. I think that's probably quite a common thing with people who first timers. Yeah, no, they got rid of the media team. It's like everyone starts CrossFit from watching those films on Netflix, or loads of people I've spoken to. But yeah, basically, I was Thai boxing at the time. Wanted some sort of strength and conditioning to sort of supplement that. Watched the fittest and just wanted to get involved. Tapped in, obviously, the local CrossFit boxes, and then LST popped up. Got in touch with Phil on Instagram, and then we went from there. From there, started off as a member.
Still a bit of a member, but you know.
Yeah.
No. And then, what was your progression like from there into coaching? Because you basically just, I remember you as the like. I actually talked to one of my clients, Liz, when you walk through, when you were in the gym, she used to come in and go, "Is he still here?" Like, he's at the gym.
Yeah. You couldn't get rid of me at first. So I started off as a member. Yeah, loved the bro rep, fresh out of pure gym. So started off doing classes. I think my first one was with you, Phil. It was like, yeah, but I love the bro rep. I think a lot of people, when they first come to CrossFit, just think you need to go as fast as possible. And then slowly after a while, you start to realise that it's not always the best way to get decent. And then you start listening to the coaches, doing things properly and stuff like that. But yeah, what was the question?
So you went from being a regular member to coaching.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so the base just always being in the gym. So I sort of hung about, kept these guys in the gym all the time after classes and stuff. Yeah, just practicing all the time. Just spending that much time there. That I think you had no option really, did you? other than to get me involved. But yeah, no, obviously, like you were looking for a coach. I wanted to do my level 1, get more involved in the sport, and then we went from there. Started interning, started shadowing your and Josh's classes. Got my level 1 done last June, and then been coaching from there.
So just touching on what you said at the start of that. So obviously you spent a lot of time with us, didn't you, before you was a coach, like sticking around, practicing and so on and so forth. Something that always sticks in my head is when we first met you, was you'd come in and you'd relentlessly practice double unders.
Yeah.
Relentlessly. And then once you got
every day.
Yeah, it was every day. But you picked them up quite quick. And I think that's quite an important thing for other people to sort of see and potentially take on board as well, because with certain skills in CrossFit, like double unders, it's all about time served. I mean, it's the amount of time that you put in practicing equals obviously results. And I think just watching you do that was it's a good sort of, it shows what you're like as an athlete, as a person. Do you know what I mean? It's this guy wants to let this done, and he wants to get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It's good to see. It was good to see.
Yeah, I think it carries over into life as well. But especially in CrossFit, you get out what you put in. I think it is important for people who are just starting out at CrossFit, especially you come in and obviously in CrossFit you have a lot of like-minded people. A lot of people who like to set themselves goals, and it's very easy to set yourself unrealistic goals if you're not actually willing to to show up and put the work in. You know, it's like anything, you get out what you put in, and I think it's important to remember that, especially at first with coming in. Say if you've got a full-time job, you've got kids, and stuff, you need to make the time still to. If CrossFit being competitive or whatever you want to do, or whatever it is that's your goal in CrossFit, is to keep reminding yourself and stay real with yourself that you're going to get out of this whatever you buy into it, kind of thing. I think that's important for it carries over.
Yeah, love it.
Awesome. Okay, one of my fun memories of you, obviously, I always remember the double unders and lunges incidents where I'm like Memz back knee to the floor, and he's like
yeah, bro, I was not doing it.
But I always remember like
you love reminding me of that. Love reminding me
that
of
was
that.
back when I could beat you, so I'm gonna keep hold of them fun memories. So, but no, like one of the things I remember, I can't remember I think it was Emma that I was chatting to, but I remember walking in the gym once and you were doing something in the like corner on your own. I was like, "What are you doing, bro?" And you told me what you was doing, and I can't remember what it was about. I'm like, "Why are you doing that?" And then you told me, and I walked away, and I was like, "Cool, get it." And Emma's like, that doesn't make sense. Why is he doing that? And I was like, I think it was Emma anyway. And I'm like, yeah, he'll figure that out on his own. It's the best. I'm like, it's the best way for some people.
Yeah.
You catch a bit of stick in a CrossFit gym for like not coaching people and stuff like that when that happens. But I'm like, again, like I always remember what I was saying. Yeah, Memz wants it that much that he'll come to it on his own. It's the best way for him to come to it. And it was like, and I was like, so. Like, I can tell him and he'll go, yeah, all right, cheers, bro. Like, and you probably would, like Josh, 12 months later, come to me and go, hey, do you remember when you told me that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I just, like I say, I'll let you come to it on your own. And I remember, like, when you did Fran for the first time and I wouldn't give you an RX because you did, like, 4 pull-ups.
Yeah, I remember that. I was moving very fast, but yeah, I think in doing so probably didn't meet the movement standards.
No, but like
yeah.
I always think.
Well, yeah, but I remember that, and I think after that I practiced pull-ups every day.
Yeah,
every day for a good amount of time.
A lot out of that.
Yeah.
My point being, like, sometimes coaching people isn't necessarily giving them a cue. It's just pushing them in the right direction and letting, like, being there to guide them into like again, it's
100%.
It's knowing the person that you have, and someone like you who's like I say, it really will get after it. I think it's good to let them find their own way sometimes. And again, like,
I think coaching's relative to. I mean, coaching is so broad. The amount of people that you get in is such a broad spectrum of people, and I think a lot of different people respond to different things. So I think like some people respond to a bit of a push, maybe leaving an RX off the board and something like that. So for some people, it's going to motivate them to come back, but for some people, maybe it's not gonna. It's gonna piss them off more than anything. They might not respond as well to that.
Yeah.
But those types of people tend to not end up doing CrossFit for too long, to be fair, because it's sort of
and there is definitely people.
Got to be able to let your ego out of the situation.
And like there is definitely people out there that I would like if there was a few bro reps in there, I'm gonna be like, yeah, like I'm not gonna upset them by to take an RX off him because like like that it was more of a teaching tool for you than it was than me having a dig at you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But basically what the reason I mentioned that is because what have you learned from being a coach, basically? So like in your experience, because you took a lot of classes now, you take a good classes a week.
I think one of the things I love is as I mentioned before, the amount of different personalities and the different people you get to work with, and every single person you coach provides you obviously with a challenge, but in that challenge also comes a reward, and I think it's really rewarding coaching various different people. Obviously people come into CrossFit at all different levels. Some people having done it before, some people never having done it before, some people come in from other sports, wanting to do CrossFit like myself. Obviously, I came in to do it for strength and conditioning. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned, is that although you might initially, you know, you get in different challenges from different people, but the reward that you're able to reap from that, say if someone is able to hit depth on a squat for the first time, or they're able to learn a new skill, and you've given them a cue, is that the work that you're putting in is very, very rewarding, especially in certain cases. So
Defo. And that's why you're our main man for the inductions. You know what I mean? Like, you take all of our inductions, or on the most part.
Yeah.
And it's because, and again, like just before we had to close down because of the whole coronavirus stuff, like we had some really good feedback about how good your inductions were for people of all levels. Obviously one of my clients was on, and she was saying that you dealt with every different level that you were working with on each induction, like superb. And I say, like, I think the fact that you say, like, oh yeah, just the reward of getting somebody to squat below parallel is like is a big deal for you, and like that's why you run the induction so well. Do you know what I mean?
Taught me how to do it myself.
Told you, best coaches learn through struggle, bro.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd say that's definitely a big thing I've learned. Also, just I think it's really helped in dealing with all kinds of different people, because obviously in a gym environment, in a CrossFit community, you've got people from all different walks of life. You know, you've got doctors, you've got myself who's a student, you've got you've got single parents, you've got all kinds of different people, and I think of all different ages as well. So I think that's another thing that I've learned from it, is how to deal I say deal with, but make and form like meaningful relationships with people. Definitely been a big plus in that area for me as well. Just communicating with people and building those like relationships with people, that's been a big factor as well.
Yeah, because you didn't talk when we first met.
Yeah.
So
didn't talk, and I can't get me to shut up now.
I think though, as like now that you've become a coach, you can not necessarily interact with people a little bit easier, but like
definitely
feel more social.
Yeah, definitely more confident
with people now. You're so much more confident with your words. Do you know what I mean? You just like more engaging, and not like that you were like almost like shy to start with, but you just are more dynamic.
Yeah. I think to be fair, definitely. Especially when I started the gym, I was very shy, and I think it's definitely helped me as an individual to become more personable and more interactive with people. I'm still a relatively closed book. I think when you first get to meet me, but then obviously after a while, open up. But yeah, definitely 100%. It's got me to communicate with people a lot better.
Again, building on that, tell us what it's like the first time you stand up and take a class. Just describe that feeling, because most people don't know what that's like.
It's nerve wracking. Definitely nerve wracking. I mean, so because obviously you've sort of got a structure in place that you guys, a sort of a thesis that you guys have, and that you want to adhere to the best as you can. And then it's like, as soon as that first word comes out of your mouth, you just completely forget everything that you've been told. And I think it's a lot of trial by fire kind of thing to coaching, and I think you learn a lot, you learn the most by just getting out there and doing it. And you're gonna make mistakes, you just got to learn to sort of roll with them. But yeah, 100% nerve-wracking, mincing your words, all kinds. And I think even now you lose your train of thought, or after doing it for a certain amount of time, you lose your train of thought, you lose what you're trying to say. But I think like you learn how to deal with that better. I think that's the main thing that changes over time, and also your confidence in speaking in front of people and to people. I think a few people have actually mentioned to me recently how different my classes have been, just because I'm more confident in my delivery, what I say, how I'm talking to even the tone at which I'm speaking is a lot louder and stuff like that, is a lot clearer. So, but yeah, so I think trial by fire and definitely a nerve-wracking experience trying to remember, stimulus, covering time domain, even stuff like remembering to write people's names down on the board, get everyone's times in, and time management as well.
Yeah.
Time management, something that I struggle with definitely. Still struggle with now.
When we figure it out.
What's that?
I said we'll let you know how to do that when we figure it out.
Yeah. We started this podcast late.
Well, I thought I was banged on time.
To be fair, bro, I couldn't get on the link for about 20 minutes, so I held you up a bit. I couldn't figure it out.
I was doing an EM, me. I was in a hole of rowing and burpees.
Something else that I want to come on to now as well is obviously we spoke a little bit about your coaching, how you got involved with it and so on.
Yeah.
So something I want to ask you now is to do with, so a lot of the members would also agree with this. Something you're particularly good at is suffering for a long time in a workout. And I think you'd agree with that. Like your kind of workout, head down and just hurt. Like like what Phil does, but you're a lot faster.
Yeah.
So the question I want to ask is,
I'd like to see who can hurt for longer though. I think if it was just a case of longer, I'd have him.
But that's your stubbornness.
But it won't be longer because I do it faster. It won't be for longer.
Just keep hurting. Just like
do it faster.
for 4 days. I don't know.
So the question I want to ask is, what during like a really awful workout? So like you did triple threes today, for example.
Yeah. That was a bad workout. That was a bad workout. It was warm as well.
So for example, like the guys who don't know, triple threes, the final movement of it is a 3-mile run, which is What's going through your head at that point? Because obviously you're suffering alone, you're running. What's keeping you going? What's putting that one foot in front of the other?
Let me just explain how before we get into it. So it's a 3K row, followed by 300 double unders, followed by a 3-mile run.
3K is a lot longer than you think as well. It's a lot longer than like, because you think, oh, it's sort of like 2K pace. It's not that much further, but it is.
Wasn't you pulling like a 140 summit as well?
Yeah. No, something like that. Something like that. I went out too hot anyway. I felt that on the run as well. Couldn't get my legs moving for like first bit as well. Coming out like my drive is like it's a little bit uphill. So it was couldn't get my legs moving.
You're deep in the hole. You're 2 miles into a 3-mile run, and at the end of a workout, keeps you going? What are you thinking about? What keeps you going?
I think a lot of the time you're not actually thinking too much, and I think that's the beauty of those sorts of workouts in a way, because there's not a lot running through your mind, and I think it's learning to get comfortable being uncomfortable kind of thing. Just learning to accept that I'm in a bit of pain, but I'm all right kind of thing. You almost just have to have a chat with yourself and have a word with yourself and be like, wouldn't actually hurt that much to just keep putting this foot in front of the other and just keep going, or maybe even towards the back end trying to push the pace a bit further. Do you know what I mean, kind of thing? And I think it's important to sort of have that conversation with yourself when times are getting tough in a workout to keep moving, keep going forwards. And obviously, I think my previous background coming from a Thai boxing background sort of helped with that as well, because in that situation you're not really thinking too much about external parts of life kind of thing, and you can't stop because someone's trying to kick you in the head, so you can't really stop too much. So I think that's probably where that Hmong sort of comes from, where you just got to sort of zone out and just keep moving forward, keep throwing punches, keep kicking. And I think that translates well when you come over into the CrossFit environment as well.
We had that like similar thing we said when we talked to Tom Blair, because he come from a MMA background, and he said he was like, when I'm hurting in a workout, there's no, and I quite like this. He was like, I'm hurting in a workout. you don't get to sort of, it's never going to be as bad as being in a fight, because I'm hurting in a fight.
Yeah. And someone's trying to punch your head in. Someone's trying to kick fuck out, yeah.
It's not going to be worse than that, is it? So
yeah, I think that definitely helps, but I think also just being comfortable, being uncomfortable definitely helps. I mean, obviously there is external things that motivate, that you can use for motivation as well. You know, turning maybe negative experiences that have happened to you into a positive. I think that can help to motivate you through certain things. But I think the main thing is just to realise that it's only a workout and it's all going to be okay. You know what I mean? And same transfers over well to life kind of thing as well. You just got to sort of shrug it off. I like how you put it, Josh, just putting one foot in front of the other. And I think, especially at a time like this as well, with everything that's going on, you have to take it day to day. And obviously we're talking about workout at the minute, but in terms of life, you just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Take everything in your stride. I think that's a good thing that you could take out from this and apply it to your life, especially in what's going on at the minute with all the uncertainty and stuff. You just sort of got to take each day as it comes, take everything in your stride. Kind of thing.
It's like the chaos workout from the games. Just wake up to another day. You wake up.
Right, okay. He's ready. He's like, what are we doing now?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, crack on. Let's go.
Let's do this. Oh no. Okay. So, a little bit less of a serious question. You've had probably more nicknames at the gym than anybody. From the Flying Martin to so.
Love that.
First thing, everybody probably knows you as Memz because that's the one that's kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Can you explain to people, without offending anyone, why?
I don't really know. Well, I don't know who actually came up with it. I mean, I think I've sort of inherited an olive tone to my skin, probably from my dad's side. Some might say I look slightly Turkish, and I think someone come up with the name Mehmet as a Turkish name.
Clear my name. That bit wasn't me.
It wasn't me either. I don't know who it was. I think it might have been you.
I shortened it. I didn't come up with the original bit.
Yeah, I think you come up with Memz, but Mehmet, I'm not sure who said that originally. So it's a mystery.
You were being called Mehmet. You had Mehmet written on your shoes before I even knew that you were called Mehmet. So. Okay, it wasn't me. I can't take the blame. But
yeah.
And obviously you were also the flight. Mehmet was an extension from Martin.
Flying Martin. I think Martin came from you just called you couldn't remember my name when I first joined, and you just called me Martin. Yeah. And I think Stu Webb was on the class, and went from there. It was Martin from then, and then obviously the flying part comes from obvious gymnastics ability to come flying off the rig.
That was Gatlin.
When trying a new movement, I think the first ever time I tried total bar, I came flying off. And then it was the first time I tried to link up bar muscle up when Josh was coaching me. I went flat. Those of you who know the gym know that you have square mats. Some of you might have even took some home with you from the gym. But I think I travelled about 3 of those mats across the room. So yeah, it was quite a distance. I came flying off the rig. It was just Josh was like, "Give it some." So I was like, and I hit my hollow, hit a really nice arch, and just forgot to hold on to the bar. And just carried on going.
It's all about knowing your athlete, isn't it, Josh? When you say
got off the floor, I was like, "You're all right." And
then I got off the floor, and I was like, I didn't do it again. So learned something from it.
That was awesome.
Learned something from it.
Good day.
It was. I come in. The only person that's ever done a spectacular one that I've seen was Big Al. But were you in that class?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Lou Furman's come off the rig as well.
Yeah, she did. Shout
out to Lou Fasser.
Yeah, hopefully she don't. Shout out to Lou Fasser. Hopefully she don't mind me mentioning that.
Oh, there's been some good ones. Okay, awesome. So we've got some fun finishing questions for you. Basically, kind of quick fire. Easiest one, or I say easiest one, is give us a book or film recommendation. Be either or.
I've just finished reading a book today, actually, this morning.
Right.
So, yeah, that's one thing I've actually been reading books and that.
You're gonna tell us the name?
In the morning. yeah. It's called it's called the subtle art of not giving a fuck.
I have heard that, yeah.
Well, I think it's decent. It's a good book. Would recommend it. It's a lot more than what it just. Obviously, the title's there to catch your attention, and but it goes into a lot more in-depth like relationships stuff like that as well. So.
Do you know what? I've not read it because it tried to catch my eye too much. Because it's like sort of like
It's sort of got, the title makes you think it's a bit gimmicky. Is it like one of the? But it's to be fair, there is actually quite some useful lessons in there that I found anyway. I think
is that the one where he's at the end of it? Isn't he like on top of somewhere in not Cairo, in Africa? Isn't he like the Cape of Good Hope or somewhere? And he's like,
he's been to like 55 different countries and he's been all over the world.
Story when he's like, I was like about to step off the edge or something like that. Is that in that one? I can't remember. Is it or not?
It's the one you read on the way to Thailand.
Yeah, I read it a while ago. I just can't remember the end of it. But I didn't know if it was that one or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good book. Definitely worth reading.
Excellent.
Film though, I'm not really sure about a film. Are you asking my favourite film or one that I recommend?
Just one that you'd recommend for people to watch.
Can be your favourite.
Tiger King. I tried watching Tiger King and I couldn't do it. I had to turn it off after about 40 minutes. I was like, I can't do it. I can't watch it.
You got to dig in.
Power through.
I take it one episode at a time.
Power through.
The other, just make it to the end because it gets more and more.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, book question. Yeah, done that one. In a film about your life, I think we've asked you this one before. In a film about your life, who would play you?
Who would play me? I'd like to play myself. I'd like to give it a crack. I'd like to play myself, but other than myself, trying to think of an actor who I like. I like Mark Wahlberg films. I think Mark Wahlberg's all right. I like him in the Mark Wahlberg. I've seen him in the Fighter. That's a decent film, and he's good in that.
That is a really good film.
But other than sharing name as well, Marky Mark. So yeah, nice. We'll go Mark Wahlberg. I like him. He's all right.
Okay, so last question. You've got 24 hours to sit down with anyone in the world, dead or alive, that you can learn everything you possibly can from in that 24 hours. Who do you pick? So, like, who did Pillin pick? Pillin had a good one, didn't he? Pillin picked Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Barack Obama, that is a good one. To learn from. I'm a big fan of like American history and stuff, so I'll probably pick someone. I'll probably pick either Muhammad Ali.
Nice.
Or I read his autobiography recently. I read Malcolm X's autobiography, so big fan of Malcolm X.
Sick.
So I think he enjoyed a lot of hardship as a kid, and the way he sort of spun his life around. And obviously, I think I get a lot of it of his values and stuff like that, and just I admire how he came from where he did to where he ended up. Obviously, it didn't end too well for him.
Yeah,
it didn't so well for him. He got gunned down in a church, but in a mosque even. But
right, sick, good answer.
Malcolm X.
I feel like that'd be a good one for people, like we were saying about people who can actually communicate to you, like, and tell you, like, and actually teach you something. Because, like,
yeah.
well and good. Somebody said this, like, it's all well and good picking out Albert Einstein, but he's not like, I wouldn't even be on his level, so he'd just be chatting at me and I wouldn't know what he's on about.
Yeah. I think from my point of view, I'd want to learn from someone who's like, obviously Albert Einstein, genius, but I don't know too much about Albert Einstein, but I'd want to learn from someone who's been about. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, in the same vein as that, I saw it on Facebook this morning. Denzel Washington. I don't know how no one's picked him yet. Like,
yeah, Denzel's a cool motherfucker, isn't
he? With Denzel. Like,
yeah, I'd love to sit down with Denzel. He plays Malcolm X in the film Malcolm X as well.
Does it?
Denzel, yeah, he's sick.
Denzel. Tell me a bedtime story, mate. That'd be like. I feel like that'd be really.
You wouldn't go to sleep though. You'd be like that involved in the story.
I'd love it. Right, that was awesome. Thank you very much, Memz. I feel like we smashed it.
Yeah.
Lots of good take-home points in there for people, especially around mentality for training and getting into coaching. So I think anybody, especially our members that give this a listen, find it super valuable. So obviously, don't forget to say words. My brain went completely blank then.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
You comment and share. Thank you for tuning into another episode of AgogeTV. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And again, as I say, like, share, and comment, because that's how we get the podcast out there to help more people. Thank you again for Josh and Memz for joining me today. Peace.
Peace.